Testing, testing, testing. Hello, hello. Hey, Danny. I'm having a problem trying to copy the link. I'm trying to copy it and post it to the Chicks page. Just having problems. It's not letting me copy it. I can share it to Facebook, but it won't let me share it to the Chicks page. There it goes. Sometimes it takes a minute. All right, we are copied. We are set up. Oh, you did it too? Well, I got it. All right. There's the page I want right there. Oh. Well, thank you. Well, we both posted it, so haha. All right. Oh, cancel. All right. Well, I'm sure people will be rolling in here in a minute. On this mechanical. Duct Systems, Chapter 16. Out of the International Register Code, Chapter 16. So we're going to get into that as well. So, all right, everyone, that's showing up. And I'm sure we will have more showing up here later. I have seen videos of people talking about flex duct and how it's supposed to be installed. And I watched their videos and I'm just like, you got them half right, but not all the way right. So when you get a box of flex or a bag of flex or whatever, I know it's a little small print, but you see this little squared area right here? This comes with it. It's either printed on the box or it's on a piece of paper, and it tells you how to install flex. Now, granted, this is a little small to read, and we can't really read it that well. But I just wanted to show you. This comes with all flex. Okay. Now, you see this symbol right here? Right there. You see that symbol? That is the Air Diffusion Council. They manufacture manufacturers of flexible duct. This is who regulates that. So, on the Facebook page, I posted a link. And that link is for this. It is for the Air Diffusion Council, manufacturers of flexible duct performances and installation standards, 5th edition. So we're going to go over this. Everything about flex duct requirements, installation instructions, and how it's supposed to be done is regulated by this. Now, do people follow this? No, because they don't know about it. So that's what we're here for. We're going to teach you the Bible. And we're going to pull into the code sections of it and talk about it. So I'm going to reposition the camera, have it facing down so you can kind of see this. So I don't have to keep holding it up. You don't have to look at my beautiful face every day. So give me a second to reposition. There we go. How's that look, Danny? I need more light because I keep going across the light. There, that's better. Okay. All right. So as you can see, flexible duct performances installation standards. Put my phone on vibrate. So you can see here, let me bring it down just a hair. Well, it's kind of hard to move the SU to move that, but so much. There. So you can see mission statement by the Diffusion Council is right there. Okay. It says the purpose of Air Diffusion Council was formed as stated in its certification and incorporation to it is to promote the further the interests of manufacturers of air distribution equipment, more specifically flexible air ducts and related products, and the interest to the public in the area of safety, quality, efficiency, and energy conservation, and to the end develop programs and supported by membership that legally promote and further these interests, such as, and there you go. So there's your from your council, and you can see again the same seal that's on the installation instructions. So as you can see, we have a table of contents, purpose, scope, unit of measurement, classification, description, tile style types. Then you have testing, listing, reporting, and certifying, installation requirements. There's where you really want, and general commentary, fire safety, thermal resistance, R values, installation. It tells you everything you need. So we're just gonna go through some of this stuff, and oh look, let me get a pointer out so my hand's not in the way. Right here, ACA Manual D, duct design. Very first one. That's key because you have to use Manual D when doing duct design. So the fact that this is there is very important. And then you have SMACNA, HVAC duct construction standards, metal and flexible. Hey, Mac, so you have SMACNA here. That's another good notation. ATSM are your numbers for testing and everything. ASHRAE. Then you have UL listings down here. But the main ones I want you to focus on is the fact that we have ACA and SMACNA in here. Those are key. Those are important. And again, the seal of approval. Terminology, we're not going to really get into the terminology of it, but if you want to, like I said, this is uploaded onto the Facebook post under Chicks. You can welcome to, you can download it and print it off. So I've posted the link for this paperwork on my post this morning, Mac, so you can actually download it and print it out. That way everyone has a copy of it. I didn't want to leave everyone hanging in here. Introduction. So purpose, measurements, classification. You have NM-IL, non-metallic insulated liner, non-porous inner core. NMUN, non-metallic uninsulated. M-1I, metallic insulated, metallic uninsulated, and non-metallic insulated with porous inner core. Let's get to our characteristics. As you can see, this is your non-metallic insulated non-porous inner core. This is what we're talking about right here. We're not talking about the metallic insulated. We're not talking about the uninsulated, which is the air, the metal connectors. We're not talking about the air connectors. Air connectors are uninsulated flex ducts. It's just the inner liner connection, or this lovely perforated one, this porous liner. We're talking about this one right here is what everyone uses. Very rarely do we use the air connectors, which you can use in conditioned spaces, but this is what everyone was going with. This is what we're going to talk about. Testing, listing, reporting, and certifying. So you can see it goes through that this stuff is tested and listed and certified. There's no, oh, let's just do that. Growth mold, air ducts, no. Air connectors, no. Hey, I got mold in my ductwork. Well, it says it's not supposed to be able to grow it right there. So let me pull this over here and kind of drop this down a little bit more so you can see that. There you go. So you can see air ducts and air connectors. And now, here, right here, it collapsed. It has a footnote number 2. That it won't collapse unless, manufacturers stated rating. Now, they will collapse as well if someone decides to lay on them. But yes. Right here, friction loss. Okay. 12 inches. Straight per 100 foot of 100 and 1,000 feet per minute. 90-inch bend coefficient, loss coefficient. So it tells you the formula on how to tell you how much of friction loss. But you're going to lose some friction with the flex duct. You're not going to have the same as you would with metal. You have static pressure, leakage, dampers, all diameters, performance, but friction loss is one of the keys that we have to worry about. All right. And you're more than welcome to like I said, download this. It's on the thing and go from there. More testing, thermal performance. As you can see, lots of formulas, which we're not really too worried about. This right here, more testing and certification. Acoustical performance. Acoustical performance right here. Material characteristics, methods of testing. So it talks about how they test it. And then once again, Air Diffusion Council, Air Diffusion Council. Seal of certification. Installation requirements. Code references, the authority having jurisdiction. That right there. That is. So I live in Virginia. You live in a different state. That is, so you have your state codes, then you have your authority of the authority having jurisdiction. So, like the county I live in can either pass or fail certain things that other counties won't pass or fail. Each area is a jurisdiction, and that authority, that building official for that area has the authority. They are the authority having jurisdiction. Now, Virginia State has its own residential code book where there is the International Residential Code book. So we take off the International Residential Code book, write our own Virginia Code book, and then each locality can pick and choose what they want to enforce out of that, but it's in the code book. Ducts conforming to NFPA 90A or 90B shall be following requirements. And it talks about right here. Boom. Next, shall be attested to sections 7 through to 23 Underwriters Laboratory UL standards for factory made air ducts conforms to UL 181. Okay. Remember that number, UL 181. That is key. Installation requirement limitations. There is some. These are specific restrictions and limitations related to the use of flexible air ducts. Some are due to NFPA standards, model codes, and various state local codes. Others have to do with performance where products are not designed to be used for specific use, some but not all inclusive as follows. Shall not be used as vertical risers serving more than 2 stories in height. Should not be used in a system with entering air temperatures higher than 250 degrees. Shall be installed in accordance with the conditions of their listing. When installed in fire rated floor, roof, ceiling assemblies, ducts shall conform with the design of the tested fire rated resistive assembly. Shall be interrupted at immediate area of operation of electric, fossil fuel, or solar energy collecting heat sources listed equipment. Listed equipment clearance specified. Air connectors do not apply. Air connectors does not apply to air ducts. Shall not be installed in lengths greater than 14 feet. For any given run, shall not pass through any wall, partition, or enclosure of a vertical shaft with a 1 hour or more fire resistance rating. Shall not pass through floors. So air ducts, the uninsulated flex duct, this right here, 14 feet. That doesn't mean you can go 14 feet, metal pipe, 14 feet, metal pipe, connector, and keep going. That's not how that works. Shall not penetrate walls where fire dampers are required. Shall not be used outdoors unless specifically designed to withstand exposures to direct sunlight and weather elements. Shall not be used to vent appliances for cooking, heating, clothes, dryers unless approved by recommended appliances. Shall not be installed in concrete buried below grade or in contact with the ground. I know that bottom one right there, letter J, we see a lot of flex on the ground, y'all. Okay. So I'm not going to read everything to you, but I'm just going to go through certain things. So let's talk about this. Installation and usage. Correct. Nice little curve, right? You can see how they say it's to be done. Incorrect. Let's just put 5 feet on a 2-foot section and have that excess. All right. Excessive length and tight band radius increases pressure drop and reduces airflow. Minimum length, duct length, and bend radius reduces pressure drop and improves airflow. So you can see correct and incorrect. They give you this stuff, guys. It's basic. All right. Avoid axial contact with metal fixtures, water lines, pipes, and everything else. Steam pipes. So you don't want it going over top of steam pipes. Okay. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Jen. Duct size and routing. The combined friction of the dynamic pressure loss shall be taken into consideration to the property size of the duct, of any duct. Pressure loss caused by the roughness of the duct shall be duct wall resisting air movement are known as friction loss. Pressure loss when air flow changes direction as caused by bends or when flow crosses other system components are known as dynamic losses. Key points to prevent undersizing or oversizing of flexible ducts and achieve the design air delivery performance. So you can go right here in number the second paragraph, design the flexible duct system per the requirements of ACA, Manual D, residential, and Manual Q, commercial. Look right there. The very first thing we talked about in the beginning, ACA and SMACNA. There it is again. And if you go down here to letter B, if no data is available, use the generic flexible duct friction loss chart in ACA Manual D. Again, we are referencing Manual D for a reason in this because it's part of this. Use minimum length of flexible duct needed to make connections. All right, letter C, we're going to go through. Install ducts extend to their fullest length without compression due to the helical configuration of the flexible duct liner cores. Excess longitude compression can dramatically affect the pressure drop. I just want to add but Jen, this is from the Air Diffusion Council, the latest edition. Hey, Tom. All right, let's go back up here. If flexible duct is not fully extended, the friction rate increase proportionally with the compression. See figure 10. So you can see figure 10. Here is your fully extended, semi, and compressed. So you can see your friction rates. When flexible duct is fully extended, it is said to have no more than a 4% longitudinal compression, and the published friction rate may be used for duct sizing calculations. So you can see here. All right. Keep the bends greater than or equal to 1 duct diameter of bit radius. So if you have a 6-inch, you don't want more than a 6-inch bend here. Okay. Support. See how we have that? Care shall be taken to minimize sagging and supports to minimize pressure loss, excessive directional changes of the airflow. So you don't want more than a 1/2-inch sag in your duct. You want to keep it as straight as possible. All right. You do not want to just sag your flex over a rafter to make a 90. You want to cradle it. You want to swoop it. You want to take the most direct route. If you can go underneath there and kind of just 45 it and straight round to it, that's what you want to do. You don't want to create this because this was actually kinking it. Let's see here. Duct bend equals 90 grand 20, length 30. So 2 foot, 8 foot, 20, that's equivalent to 20 inches. So that's 30 inches of duct right there. Feet, excuse me. 2 foot, 8 foot, total 10 foot. This 90-degree bend basically equals 20 foot. So you can see a 90-degree bend has pressure drop equal to approximately 20 linear feet of flexible air duct. So each 90-degree that bend, you add 20 equivalent feet of length used for calculation sizing. So you want to do as little as possible. All right. 45. A gradual 45 bend has a pressure drop equal to about 10 feet of linear flexible duct. So if we have a 45, so duct length 10 foot, 45, 10, so 20. So duct length of 10, 180 offset equals 40, so that's just now 50. So you can see how changing this and doing this into not the most direct route is creates a restriction of your air. It causes issues. Okay. You can see here we have a 90 and a 45. So what would solve this problem here? To take away, to make this a more straight run across here. Because think about it, we're adding 20 feet here and 10 feet here. This is 12. So we got 12, 24, 44 feet equivalent. And if you add 245, so we'll go right here to the math that they have listed here. Total duct length, 14 feet. 245s at 10, that's 20 feet. 190, 20 feet. And exiting fitting, 35 feet. So a whole of 124 feet. I would say put a hard 90 right here of an elbow and then have a straight flex run. And then suspend, and then as you go over this way, strap it up to raise it to create a gradual drop versus the double 45s. And you can see this is all. Use ACA Manual D. Again, it's all there. And Tom, I put this, I'm gonna go back to here. I put the link to this on the post about class today, so you can go in and download this if you need to. You can install factory wire supports to support it there. Ceiling joists, strapping, vertical, max 6 feet. Support air duct between a metal connection and a bend, allowing the duct to extend straight for at least 1 duct diameter before making the bend. This will avoid possible damage to the flexible duct, the edges of the metal collar for efficient airflow and fitting performance. Gotcha. Now to the bread and butter. So remember in the beginning, everybody, I showed you this right here that comes with every box of flex or bag of flex. This little piece of paper right here, it talks about how it's done. Here it is in bigger picture. We're going to go over this step by step because there are some misunderstandings of this, and I want to make sure everyone understands. After you get your length fit, slide at least 1 inch of the core over the fitting and pass the bead. Sealed the collar with at least 2 wraps. Okay, I rephrase, at least 2 wraps of duct tape secure. Now we're gonna go before you say duct tape. Oh no. Notes. Use tapes listed and labeled in accordance with standard UL 181B and marked 181B-FX. It's right here in the bottom. It tells you that. Just because it says duct tape up here doesn't mean they're not talking about the 181 tape. So get that out of your head. Secure the connection with the clamp placed over the core and tape and pass the bead. So you can see right here in this picture, they have the tape and they have the strap over top of the tape. The reason for this is the vibrations of any airflow going through there. When you just have the Panduit strap, or if you want to use the metal hose, big old metal clamps, hose clamps there on that, the vibration can rip the flex at that connection. The tape is to give the Panduit strap the ability to not rip the flex and cause it to break. Pull the jacket and insulation back over the core tape. Tape the jacket at least 2 wraps of tape. A clamp may be used in place of combination or in combination with duct tape. So technically right here, number 3, oops, shoot, didn't mean to kick the camera. Number 3, you don't have to use a strap, or you can use a strap. It has either or. Can be used in combination with duct tape. All right. Right there. If you are making a junction, you need a piece of metal duct to make a junction. And it tells you right here, a 4-inch metal length sleeve right across the top. Boom, metal sleeve. This does not mean take the one flex duct and shove the other one in it and tape it up. That is not a metal sleeve. They want a metal sleeve when you put that in there. Now make sure you notate where the metal sleeve is, as you can see with the tape, and you put a strap around that and use that as a support, because if what happens, all the weight's right here, it will cause a sag in your ductwork. Oh, look, making connections to collars, essentially. Guess what? It's the same thing. Now, there is a second way to do it. Step 2, apply mastic approximately 2 inches wide uniformly around the collar of the metal fitting or over the ends of a 4-inch metal sleeve. Reference data mastic container application rate. And we'll go down here in the bottom for that in a second. So you can put mastic on the collar. Put your flex duct over top. Slide at least 2 inches of core past the bead. Secure the core to the collar with a clamp applied just past the bead. Secure the sleeve ends with 2 clamps past the beads. So again, you want to put your strap in the mastic area, because that is where they're wanting their strap. And it says right here, use mastics listed and labeled in accordance with standards UL 181 and marked 181 B-M on the container. Oh, look, a specific mastic, not just any mastic, a specific mastic with the labels, with the UL listings. So yes, you can use mastic on the collar. You can just use a Panduit tape and Panduit strap. Remember, 2 wraps of tape and a 2-inch bead. All right, approximately 2 inches right there. So you go through here, you can see it's the same thing we're talking about: mastics, tapes, everything. Collar, sleeve, connection, splice, mastic, and tape. Again, at the very bottom of this, it talks about 181 all across the bottom again. It's not hard to do this, but I guarantee you, everyone takes this piece of paper and throws it out. Metal clamps, non-metallic, aka Panduit straps. You have ductboard collar, sheet metal tab collar, metal collar, spin and straight. So you have different types of collars. We all should know. You have reducing collars. You have a ductboard tabbed collar. You can see we have all different types of places to connect. You can see they give you space to make these connections. Then we have our general commentary. Fire, duct leakage, and right here on duct leakage, reference Industry materials, smacna nimna for making round tap-ins into ceiling fittings is rigid jucts and plenums. So again, we have smacna duct leakage. Okay. And once again, our lovely seal of certification. All right, you have thermal resistance, R values, which basically conforms to the industry standards, thermal performance, field alterations, exposure to UV and sunlight. Everything's right here. So again, Flexible Duct Performance and Installation Standards, 5th edition by the Air Diffusion Council. You can't get much more direct information than from them. Okay. Yes, Tom. Mastic, mastic, mastic. But a lot of people don't understand how to use it properly. So, and a lot of people don't understand how to install Flex properly. So that's why we're having this little tidbit here. 'Cause I've seen lots of videos of people installing Flex duct and they're installing it incorrectly. So let me move this like this here. All right. So I know we got some shadowing going on. I'm trying to eliminate some of that shadowing. Hopefully that helps. Now this is the 2024 International Residential Code Book. My area is not in it. Some areas are still behind as well. They're using the 21 and some of you still use 19. But I want you to see this right here. Residential code. Let's see if I can get this to M1601.1 duct design. Duct servicing heating, cooling, and ventilation equipment shall be installed in accordance with provisions of this section and ACA Manual D and appearance manufacturing installation instructions other than or other approved methods. Basic right here, duct design, the very first thing, ACA Manual D. So you can see there's a lot of information in here. Above ground duct systems, duct materials, joints, fire blocking, factory made air ducts, flex ducts shall not be installed in or on the ground in tile or metal pipe or they meet the requirements for M1601.1.2. Oh, excuse me, within concrete. Separation. General materials, furnace controls. And here's one I love that people don't understand. Independent garage systems. Furnaces and air handlers that supply air to living spaces shall not supply air to or return air from a garage. So if you have a system in the garage that provides air to the house and you decide, hey, let's put a return and supply in there to my garage, that is the code you're violating right there. M1601.6. I'm going to flip the camera back around, so give me a second here. Oh, that's my bald head. And that came out of this right here. So, turn this light off. We don't need this anymore. It's going to make it a little dim for a second. I will see if I can pull that manual up for you. Give me a second here. Do 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 do. Copy, live stream, paste. There is the website for anyone who comes in. You should be able to see that. I don't know if you can click on it or not, but you can see. You can type in airductcouncil.org and boom, that should get you to that as well. So that should get you this right here. So if you're not sure on something on how to do it, please look up installation instructions. Call up your boss. Say, hey, how is this supposed to be installed? Or reach out to a friend or read the installation instructions that come with the flex duct. Um, I printed off a colorful one, but things you can find on the internet on how to install flex duct. Step-by-step instructions. If you're not sure, look it up. I found if you type in flex installation instructions, you will get a plethora of things. Of course, my camera wants to not focus again. There we go. So yes, if you're not sure, look it up. This is just a basic thing. Like I said, I've seen a lot of videos out there of people just putting the tape at the seam and then putting the panel strap above the tape and not on the tape. I've seen them put the mastic, like a little bit of they'll put the flex on there, panel strap, and then put mastic around it. That's not how it's supposed to go. Flex on the collar, mastic on the collar, your flex over top of it, panel strap over top of the flex, and the mastic that bonds it. Now I know. You don't want flex inside the air duct. It's going to create mold and mold and issues and everything. If you're using the correct stuff, it should not. That's why the instructions say certain rating mastics. And UL 181 tape. Make sure you're using the proper tape. If an inspector comes by and pulls back and doesn't see that 181 tape, guess what? They're going to fail you. It's just there, y'all. It's in black and white right here. And installation instructions, it's there for a reason to make sure you're doing the job properly. And when you do it properly, you don't have that air loss. When you run the flex straight and hard and don't have all those kinks, you create non-friction. And it's just a matter of doing the job right and caring. I can't tell you how many times I go up in attics and I see a flex lead that's maybe 7 feet away from the trunk line and there's 10, 15 feet of flex on it. And it's like, really? It takes me, I go out to the truck, grab a couple pando straps. It takes me 5 minutes, pull it over, cut it, repando it. And the people are like, wow, what'd you do? I've never had that much airflow in that room before. Well, I made the flex run shorter, so it's going to have airflow. You just got to remember, do it right the first time. Do it as if it was your house or your family's house or a friend's house. Because if you install a duct system and you don't install it properly, Yes, that is a problem. Now, there's one thing in this we've not discussed yet, and that is the connection of your tap to your ductwork. Now, I don't have any taps here with me because I forgot to grab some from the shop, but you have air tights. Now, depends on how old school you are. Some are called fats, some are called rats. Okay. A rat is a round air tight, which is goes around your round pipe, and a fat goes on your flat ductwork. Um, with that in mind, sorry, someone's trying to FaceTime me. I can't answer. So I'm in class. Um, they have an adhesive collar on there. When you go to make that connection with that adhesive collar, make sure you cut the insulation back and put the adhesive collar up against the metal. Don't cut your hole in the insulation, cut your hole in the metal, and then put the collar over top of the insulation and screw it. That's not making it airtight. The airtight there is to trap that then traps air between the collar and the ductwork. It goes down the insulation. You want that adhesive up against that metal. Plain and simple. Yes. Now this it does have an adhesive on there. It does have a little foam tape basically. That is not 100% sealable and 100% going to solve everything. It's called airtight, but it doesn't always seal properly. I personally tape, mastic, whatever I have on me, mastic tape. I have something I will seal up around that ring after I screw it in, just to make sure that there is no air loss there. For tap-in collars, yeah, and Tom, everyone has their own thing. And if you have a tap-in collar, like a metal tab collar, when you put it in, you fold your tabs on, seal that up. But please make sure you're sealing it up to the metal and not the insulation. I can't tell you how many times I see air tights that are screwed on over top of the insulation. It makes no sense. It doesn't. It's like trying to plug a hole with another hole. It's not going to work really well. So this is more educational, a little bit of ranting, trying to get the information out there for everybody that people need to understand there are right ways of doing things, and sometimes the way other people do them are not the proper way, and you need to learn how to do it the right way. And that's what we want to show you. We want to show you and tell you how to do things the right way so you do it the right way and it doesn't come back on you and saying it wasn't done right. And as Jen said in here, ASHRAE is January 2025 and only for homes with ventilation needs. There's still some accurate, and you need to follow it. It's so accurate, you need to follow it. You still have to follow it. There are a few things that may be stricter based on 62.2. So make sure you check with your stuff. I don't have my glasses, so I'm kind of double reading things a little bit. Double check your area and everything else. Just because what works in my area doesn't mean it's going to work in yours. I know my area, so I'm just kind of giving you a general perspective of my area. But generally, when it's code or manufacturer installation instructions, that's pretty much across the board. Every area has their own right to do and choose what they want to enforce, so keep that in mind as well. The installation of the flex, that is standard across the board. As where you're allowed to use flex, that is not. And here, you're not allowed to have flex duct in garages at all. They don't want it in garages, and they will not allow it in garages here in Virginia. Another state, they might. So, yep. So it all depends on the area, on what's allowed and what's not. I can't tell you how many times I go see people posting videos of ductwork they're doing, and they're using flex duct on a supply boot that has no insulation on it whatsoever. And I'm freaking like, dude, where's your insulation on your boot? Oh, we don't need it. We don't have that humidity. Well, you pull up the code, and the code talks about insulating everything. You know, teach their own. everybody has their own decision on what they want to do with that stuff. So you can only do but so much. Well, I hope everyone got some good information out of this. Feel free to comment on it. Let us know if you have any questions. Comment on the Facebook page. Anything else, questions or concerns, feel free to contact and reach out to me. Not a problem, Tom. Miss you this morning. But yes, I didn't expect Flex Duct to take almost 45 minutes to talk about, but it does. Right. Believe it or not. So everyone have a good, safe weekend. Enjoy this lovely weather we're having, and don't work too hard.